Good morning students. In this video I am explaining mechanism of action of barbiturates and benzodiazepines. In our brain, excitatory neurons and inhibitory neurons are presented. These excitatory neurons releases excitatory neurotransmitters. These glutamate, aspartate, nitric oxide, acetylcholine and norepinephrine. These are excitatory neurotransmitters. These excitatory neurotransmitters act as a ligand or agonist to bind and activate the cationic receptors and produces excitatory response in neurons. These coming to the inhibitory neurons. These inhibitory neurons releases inhibitory neurotransmitters GABA, glycine, serotonin, dopamine, acetylcholine and norepinephrine. These are inhibitory neurotransmitters. These inhibitory neurotransmitters act as a ligand or agonist to bind and activate the anionic channels and produces inhibitory response in neurons. GABA is major inhibitory neurotransmitter in our brain. GABA stands for gamma amino butyric acid. This amino group is attached to fourth carbon atom. That's why gamma amino. Okay, if this amino group is attached to third carbon atom, it is called beta amino. If this amino group is attached to second carbon atom, it is called alpha amino. This amino group is attached to fourth carbon atom. That's why it is gamma amino. It containing 4 carbon atom. That's why butyric. It containing carboxyl group. That way it is acid. Gamma amino butyric acid. At physiological pH 7.45, GABA loses its proton and converted to gamma amino butyrate. It is a conjugate base. This carboxyl group is containing one hydrogen atom. This hydrogen atom is losses in the form of proton. Okay, this GABA is converted into gamma amino butyrate at physiological pH 7.45. GABA receptors are 3 types: GABA A receptor, GABA B receptor and GABA C receptor. These GABA A receptor, GABA C receptors are ligand-gated chloride channels. But this GABA B receptor is G protein coupled receptors. This GABA B receptor is coupled with G inhibitory protein. Okay. Barbiturates and benzodiazepines are positive allosteric modulators. This GABA A receptor is sensitive to benzodiazepines and barbiturates. But GABA B and GABA C receptor is not sensitive to barbiturates and benzodiazepines. That's why these barbiturates and benzodiazepines shows pharmacological activity by binding to a GABA A receptor only. Okay. Barbiturates and benzodiazepines are positive allosteric modulators. These drugs bind to receptor and allosterically change the conformation of GABA A receptor binding sites, and it leads to the increases the affinity and ability of GABA to bind and activate the GABA A receptor. Structure of GABA A receptor. Front view of GABA A receptor. It is the top view of GABA A receptor. Okay, it is the structure of GABA A receptor. It is front view of GABA A receptor. GABA A receptors are ligand-gated chloride channels. They allow only chloride ions only. They are selective anionic receptors. They selectively allowed these chloride ions only. Okay, this GABA A receptor is pentamer. Pentamer means what? It containing 5 subunits, 2 alpha subunits, 2 beta subunit and 1 gamma subunit. GABA A receptors are pentamers. They contain, why they are pentamers? They containing 5 subunits, 2 alpha subunits, 2 beta subunits and 1 gamma subunit. They allowed only chloride ions. They are selective anion receptors. Okay, coming to the top view of GABA A receptors. GABA A receptors are containing 5 subunits, 2 alpha subunits, 2 beta subunits and 1 gamma subunit. See here, each subunit are containing 4 transmembrane domains. These are 4 transmembrane domains: M1, M2, M3 and M4. So each subunit containing 4 transmembrane domains. Alpha containing 4 transmembrane domains, beta containing 4 transmembrane domains and gamma and these beta domains also containing 4 transmembrane domains. Okay, coming to the binding sites. GABA have 2 binding sites in GABA A receptors. These are GABA binding sites. These are GABA binding sites presented between alpha and beta subunits. Barbiturates and benzodiazepines are binded to GABA receptors at different sites between alpha and gamma subunits. Okay, these four transmembrane domains are embedded in the plasma membrane. These are four transmembrane domains. Okay, these four transmembrane domains are embedded in this plasma membrane. The N-terminal and C-terminal is presented as extracellular fluid. Okay, this N-terminal and C-terminal is presented at extracellular fluid. These receptors are cis-loop receptors. Okay, these receptors are cis-loop receptors. This loop is held together by disulfide bond between two cysteine molecules. That's why it is called cis-loop. This bond is disulfide bond. Okay, this disulfide bond is formed between two cysteine molecules. That's why it is a cis-loop receptor. Cis-loop receptors are nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, GABA A receptors, 5-HT3 receptors, glycine receptor. Okay, in this slide I am explaining how this cis-loop is formed. See here, it is a polypeptide. Okay, this loop is held together by this disulfide bond between two cysteine molecules. These are two cysteine molecules. These two cysteine molecules are held together by this disulfide bond. Okay, between these two cysteine molecules, 13 amino acids are presented. GABA A receptors are 5 types. It is first type. It containing 2 alpha 1 subunits, 2 beta 2 subunit and 1 gamma 2 subunit. It is most important GABA A receptor. It is found in CNS. It is second type of GABA A receptor. It having 2 alpha 2 subunits, 2 beta 3 subunit and 1 gamma 2 subunit. It is third type of GABA A receptor. It having 2 alpha 3 subunits, 2 beta 1 subunits and 1 gamma 2 subunit. It is fourth type of GABA A receptor. It having 2 alpha 3 subunits, 2 beta 2 subunits and 1 gamma 2 subunit. It is a fifth type of GABA A receptor. It having 2 alpha 3 subunits, 2 beta 3 subunits and 1 gamma 2 subunit. Good morning students. In this video I am explaining mechanism of action of barbital. Barbital is belong to barbiturate class. Barbital is used in the treatment of epileptic seizures and insomnia. It is GABA A receptor. It is ligand gated chloride channel. For GABA A receptor activation, 2 GABA molecules are required. GABA is major inhibitory neurotransmitter in our brain. GABA is binded to GABA A receptor. All subunits undergo conformational changes and chloride ions are entered into the cell. If chloride ions are entered into the cell, it leads to increases the negative voltage membrane potential. It leads to hyperpolarization of cell membrane. This hyperpolarization inhibits the generation of action potential. If action potential is not generated, neurotransmitters are not released into synaptic cleft. So signals are not transmitted to nerve or nerve to organ. It produces CNS depression. Okay, coming to the barbital. Barbital is used in the treatment of epilepsy and insomnia. Some patients with epilepsy or insomnia, their GABA binding sites are mutated. So GABA don't bind to GABA A receptor. At this condition, patients take barbital and benzodiazepines. Barbital is positive allosteric modulator. Barbital bind to GABA A receptor. Barbital allosterically change conformation of GABA binding sites, and barbital increases the affinity and ability of GABA to bind and activate the GABA A receptor, and also barbital increases duration of channel opening. It means it keeps the channel in open state. So more amount of chloride ions are entered into intracellular fluid. If more amount of chloride ions are entered into the intracellular fluid, it leads to increases the negative voltage membrane potential. It leads to hyperpolarization of cell membrane. This hyperpolarization inhibits the generation of action potential. If action potential is not generated, the neurotransmitters are not released into synaptic cleft. So signals are not transmitted to nerve or nerve to organ. It leads to CNS depression. Glutamate receptors are 3 types: AMPA receptor, kinase receptor and NMDA receptor. These 3 receptors are ligand gated non-selective cationic receptors. They are permeable to sodium, calcium and potassium. Okay, these are tetramers. They having 4 subunits, and this glutamate is excitatory neurotransmitter. It acts as a ligand for these 3 receptors. Okay, coming to the AMPA receptor. If glutamate is binded to AMPA receptor, all 4 subunits undergo conformational changes and pore is opened. So large amount of sodium and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell, and large amount of potassium move out of the cell. Coming to the kainate receptor. Glutamate is binded to kainate receptor. All subunits undergo conformational changes and channel is opened. So large amount of sodium and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell, and large amount of potassium move out of the cell. Okay, coming to the NMDA receptor. Glutamate is binding to NMDA receptor. So all subunits undergo conformational change and channel is opened, but the ions are not passed through this pore because the pore is blocked by this magnesium ion. See here, this pink color is magnesium ion. So the flow of the cations is depending upon the voltage of intracellular fluid. Okay, how this voltage is developed, I will explain. This glutamate is binded to AMPA receptor and kainate receptor and activated them. So large amount of sodium and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell. So see here, if sodium and calcium entered into cell, it leads to increases the positive voltage membrane potential. It leads to depolarization of cell membrane. So this depolarization is reached to NMDA receptor, and this depolarization remove this Mg+2 ion from the pore. This Mg+2 ion move to extracellular fluid. So now the pore is opened, so large amount of sodium and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell, and large amount of potassium move out of the cell. Okay, coming to the serotonin receptor. 5-HT3 receptor is serotonin receptor. Serotonin excitatory neurotransmitter. This 5-HT3 receptor is pentamer. It having 5 subunits. Okay, when serotonin is binded to 5-HT3 receptor, all subunits undergo conformational changes and pore will be opened. So large amount of sodium is entered into the cell and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell, and large amount of potassium move out of the cell. This 5-HT3 receptor is ligand gated non-selective cationic receptor. Okay, coming to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. This nicotinic acetylcholine receptor is presented at skeletal muscle. Acetylcholine acts as a ligand. This acetylcholine is binded to nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. The channel will be opened, so large amount of sodium and small amount of calcium is entered into the cell, and large amount of potassium move out of the cell. Acetylcholine is excitatory neurotransmitter. Okay, next. Excitatory neurons releases these excitatory neurotransmitters. Excitatory neurotransmitters are glutamate, serotonin and acetylcholine. So these excitatory neurotransmitters binds their receptors, and these receptors open and large amount of cations are entered into intracellular fluid. So if large amount of sodium and calcium is entered into the cell, it leads to increase the positive voltage membrane potential. This positive voltage membrane potential develop depolarization of cell membrane. This depolarization stimulates the generation of action potential. If action potential is generated, the neurotransmitters are released into synaptic cleft. So signals are transmitted to nerve or nerve to organ. So it leads to CNS excitation. In case of healthy individuals, excitation and inhibition of CNS is existed in balance. In case of epilepsy, excitation of CNS predominate the inhibition because the mutation of GABA receptors or a loss of inhibitory neurons in brain. Epilepsy is caused by abnormal activation of neurons in brain. In this condition, excitatory neurotransmitters are continuously released into synaptic cleft. These excitatory neurotransmitters fires their receptors continuously. It leads to more amount of sodium and more amount of calcium is entered into the cell. If more amount of sodium, if more amount of calcium is entered into cell, it leads to positive voltage membrane potential. It leads to increases the positive voltage membrane potential. It leads to depolarization of cell membrane. These depolarization stimulate the generation of action potential. So neurotransmitters are released into synaptic cleft. Signals are transmitted continuously nerve to muscle. It leads to uncontrollable muscle contractions in body parts. These uncontrollable muscle contractions are very dangerous. In case of these uncontrollable muscle contractions in diaphragm, stop breathing also. So patient with epilepsy take barbital. Barbital block these glutamate receptor, serotonin 5-HT receptor and nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. See here, this barbital is block these all receptors. So the cations are not entered into the cell. By this way, barbital is inhibit the abnormal excitation of CNS and produces the inhibitory response in neuron by activating this GABA receptor. Difference between the mechanism of action of barbiturates and benzodiazepines. Coming to the barbiturate. Barbiturate increase the duration of opening of chloride channel. It means barbiturates keep the channel in open state. Coming to the benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines increases the frequency of opening of chloride channels. It means it opens the channel again and again. Coming to the second point, barbiturates. At higher concentrations, barbiturates can open the channel directly and hence they have GABA mimetic action too. Coming to the benzodiazepines, second point, even at high concentration, benzodiazepines cannot open the channel directly in the absence of GABA and hence they have only the GABA facilitatory action. Please subscribe my channel and like and share my video. Thank you for watching my video.